The nose is the body's primary organ of smell. Smell is often our first response to stimuli. It alerts us to fire before we see flames and recognizes food is spoiled before we taste it. Our nose also functions as part of our body's respiratory system. But before we go into how the nose specifically functions, we will go over some basic anatomy of the nose. The nares, more commonly known as the nostrils, are the entryway to the nasal cavities. The walls of the nasal cavity include the roof, the floor, the medial wall, and the lateral wall. The nasal cavity is lined with mucus and skin. The top 1/3 of the nasal cavity is where the olfactory area is. The paranasal sinuses are air-filled cavities in the frontal, ethmoid, maxilla, and sphenoid bones. They're lined with a mucosal membrane and have small openings into the nasal cavity. Their purpose is still being debated by scientists, but it is thought that they could help with various functions, from decreasing the relative weight of the front of the skull to increasing resonance of the voice.
The air we breathe enters our body through the nose. As air enters the nose, it passes over the specialized cells of the olfactory system, called chemoreceptors, which are located in the upper portions of the nasal cavity. Smell, like taste, is a chemical sense detected by chemoreceptors. When an odor passes through the nose, the chemoreceptors within the nose are stimulated. These chemoreceptors then identify the specific smell and pass on specified electrical impulses to the brain. Every electric impulse is different according to what is being smelled. The brain is able to interpret these impulses as specific odors and something we can recognize as smell. The only other chemical system that can quickly identify, make sense of, and memorize new molecules is the immune system. Our nose does much more than identify smells for our body. Our nose is also tasked with cleaning the air we breathe of foreign particles. It cleans the air with the nasal hairs located all throughout the nasal cavity. Our noses also warm and humidify the air we breathe before it enters into the lungs. Thank you for watching our video on the nose and its functions.